Well, here we are on Super Bowl Sunday, not Monday. And our reason for this being, you know, okay, out of our audience, what are people going to have planned? Are they going to go watch the Super Bowl, or are they going to go out and do something fun with their loved one for Valentine's Day? And we didn't really want to be a you-know-what block. We didn't want to block anyone from seeing their significant other or being with someone that they love. So we said, you know what? We've got a ton of nerds on here. Who's going to go watch the Super Bowl? Come on. And sure enough, we found out that a lot of our friends are watching the Super Bowl right now because it's just more of a social event, and I think people tend to just go to, like it's just part of American culture. I feel like is to watch the Super Bowl. So we kind of got screwed on both days, whether it was tonight or it was tomorrow night. You know, you're kind of we were kind of stuck in a pickle. So we just said, you know what, screw it, let's just do it Sunday, and yeah. And I am thankful though because we do have some people here. We've got Ben says good day, Max and McKenna. Hope you both are doing well. And my man Josh, thank you so much for being here, man. It's great to see you. He says, "What's the Super Bowl?" I don't know. I honestly, McKenna and I were just talking about it backstage, and I was like, I don't even know who's winning right now. Like, I know who the teams are that are playing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Wayne says howdy, and a Trouble Green. I have not watched it. I literally just got a text from my friend saying it just dropped. Have you watched it? That's the big question. Have you watched it though? Because no, don't tell me that. Okay, for everyone who isn't aware, the Lord of the Rings trailer just dropped. Like as we're starting this stream, like just dropped, and McKenna, I wonder if do we dare a Trouble Green? Do we dare watch it live and get our live reaction to this? I don't know. I'm afraid that Amazon Prime would like take our stream down, or they would stop our stream from going, because if we watch that preview, then they'd be like, oh, it's copyright or something. But anyway, all that to say, McKenna, how are you doing? I haven't even introduced you yet. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm good. I'm probably better than you guys with this trailer dropping. I'm hoping it's not about to massacre Lord of the Rings for you guys. I'm surprised. I was actually wondering if you guys were even planning on watching the trailer, or if you're just kind of turning a blind eye for a little while.
Legion, great to see you, brother. I got your message on Instagram. Legion has seen it. He says it looks really good. He says they only take away your ability to earn revenue from this. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I don't know. I will watch the trailer, of course, because it's not going to give any revenue towards them. It's just going to be giving it to YouTube and maybe, Amazon Prime, whoever's putting up the video. But as far as the show goes, they're already calling the fans racist, sexist, homophobes, bigots, basement dweller nerds. And even if the show was good, why do I want to go support a company that's already calling its fans out that haven't said anything yet?
Yeah.
So I'm very upset at how this whole situation has been handled. So I will watch the trailer, but I don't even want to watch the show anymore because I was intrigued, but now I'm just mad.
Yeah.
She says, yeah, don't risk it, but I know now I will be washing my hands of this completely. I will not be wasting my time at all. And you know what? That was the big deciding factor, Trouble Green. I think this was a lot for a lot of people, the nail in the coffin. Legion says it's just a teaser, but the tone and style is very in brand. Really? That's interesting. I dual streamed numerous things in the past. Nothing happened, and I'm monetized. Well, that's good to know, Legion. Thank you for the update. As far as the teaser, in brand is tricky, because if you've seen those pictures, and McKenna, I don't know if you saw those the teaser pictures at all.
No.
They look very Dungeons and Dragons-y. Like nothing looks lived in. And I think Trouble Green, you and I were talking about this on the other stream the other night, but the world of Tolkien looks very lived in. It looks very dirty and rugged and ancient. Whereas what they have made, and even with these like oversaturated photos and like very well produced costumes and everything, it looks just generic. It looks like we're making a Dungeons and Dragons fantasy movie. Here you go. But it doesn't have the essence, and I think that's what it's missing. But Legion, if you think that the tone is there, man, I'll watch it. Well, the trailer at least. But
so I did see, and I don't know if it was you who said this or someone else, but that essentially you're afraid they're going to try to produce a Game of Thrones version of this. Is that, like, I'd be curious, people have seen the trailer, does it seem like it's going that route, or do you guys know yet?
That's a great question as well. Soul says it looks more like Narnia, and a Trouble Green says it's more generic fantasy. D&D, Witcher, Game of Thrones. Okay, so she did say Game of Thrones. Take your pick. Could be any of them or something else entirely. I'm waiting for the supercut, where it's like the teaser trailer. You know, it's all the characters and it's like the show, and then like at the end, instead of Lord of the Rings of Power, they just put like Game of Thrones, or they put like Dungeons and Dragons. I'm waiting for the supercut of some nerd who's going to put a generic title at the end and see if anyone notices, you know. But Josh says, or he says, as for the lived in comment, I think that's a combination of budget and a lack of Peter Jackson that hinder that. No, Josh, don't you can't say budget. This was a $1 billion project, my dude. You can't say budget. I'm sorry, that is not an excuse. But I do agree, lack of Peter Jackson is definitely hindering that. Legion says, on brand matches what came before. I saw the pictures and was scared as hell. Just watch the teaser on your phone real quick. I'm not holding faith for the actual show, but I'm going to give it a shot. Hey, man, I appreciate it, Legion. And I appreciate your feedback because, it's always good to get other people's perspective. And so as someone who normally hears one side of the lane, I really enjoy hearing people who have a different opinion on that. So Steve, my man, good to see you. He says, hey there, everyone. How y'all doing? Is it Monday already? No, it is. Maybe for some people, I think it's Monday, but for us, it is still Sunday.
Did you see my Instagram story about that?
Yes. Yeah. Someone has already kind of confused it. Yeah. It's the Last Jedi situation all over again. Dude, worse. Potentially worse. If you thought Star Wars fans were bad, you have not seen the wrath of the Balrog, like of Tolkien's evil that can potentially arise from the depths. Like, we are about to see a cataclysmic event here, and I'm here for it. I mean, because this is for us Lord of the Rings fans. Yeah, this is our Last Jedi. So this is our time to vocalize this thing if it doesn't turn out well. So Lady Gravemaster is tearing apart. Good for her. Hell yeah. Lady Gravemaster is also a Marine, so Semper Fi to her. He says it looked absolutely nothing like The Witcher or Game of Thrones fantasy. Oh, okay. Well, Legion, great to see you, brother. Thank you for stopping by. I know you've got a stream, or you've got something that you've got going on. So not a problem. And as for the Hobbit trilogy, it was rough, but it didn't feel like disrespectful. It just felt unfinished. Like, it felt like it just wasn't well done. But nothing about it the only thing that felt disrespectful was the elf and dwarf relationship, because it was so forced, and it was just like, this has never happened, and it's like, it's so weird, and I don't like this. And it didn't give any agency to her as a female character, because she was like strong on her own and didn't need no man. She didn't need no dwarf. And that was kind of my take on it. But so to answer your question, it wasn't great, but it wasn't disrespectful, in my opinion. So, well, McKenna, you texted me earlier today, and this is where we get right into our content, because we do have content tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're not just talking. We're not just bullshitting. Yeah, Legion says, like a Great Dane and Chihuahua. It really was.
I thought he was
Evangeline
talking about
Lilly.
us.
Oh, maybe.
I
That's
hope
just
I was like, I might be small. I'm not a chihuahua.
well, you're feisty like a small dog, though.
I always get that, but I'd rather be like a German Shepherd or something.
I could see your protective nature being like a German Shepherd, but your feist and your fire comes from
Probably
the
like
heart
a
of a small
Yappy.
dog. No. Yeah, Chihuahuas are yippy and they don't bark at all. That's Chihuahuas bite. Soul Assassin says Chihuahuas bite. That they do. They do bite. Though she is little, she be fierce. So, but yeah, we're not just gonna be talking about nonsense tonight. We are going to kind of in line with the Super Bowl. We have a bracket of all 22 MCU films, not including Captain Marvel because we all know where that would end up. But I did not include Captain Marvel. Instead, I included Blade, the original Blade, 1998 Blade 1 with Wesley Snipes, because technically that was the spark that brought Marvel like MCU into existence. So I put Blade in the first spot, and Captain Marvel's out. She's not in this. And Josh, I'm glad that you're excited because I'm excited too. McKenna brought this to my attention this afternoon, and she was like, do we have a topic? Are we going to discuss anything? And I was just kind of like, I don't know. So I need my channel privileges taken away, guys, because I couldn't come up with something, but McKenna over here came up with the bracket idea. So we're going to pull this up for everyone, and we're going to see just what films are going to beat out and which one will be the top, which one will make it to the Super Bowl. And chat, you guys are going to help us. If you guys are watching on the replay, and if you guys can't participate in the chat's discussion tonight, no problem. Leave a comment below and let us know what film you think should have gotten number one, or if you agree with us or whatnot. But here are the rules, and I don't think you and I have discussed this yet, McKenna, either. But here are the rules for what I'm going to plan for tonight. McKenna and I will discuss out of these rankings, out of these top tier films, which one will go to the next bracket, single elimination. If McKenna or I have not seen a film, we will go to chat for the ultimate decision. If McKenna and I can't decide on a film, we will go to chat for the ultimate decision. And then for the tiebreaker, the very, very end, when it's like number 2 and number 3, which one is going to be number 1? It'll probably be myself, McKenna, and then also chat giving their input to see which one is going to be number 1. So if that all sounds good, if we're all on board, I'm just going to get right into it with no hesitation. Does that sound good, McKenna?
Yeah, we need the NFL music though.
That's true. Everything will be copyright. We're going to play the trailer and it's going to get copyright. We're going to play the NFL music. We're going to get copyright by the NFL. That's so true. I wish we had epic NFL music. I'll edit this in post or something. I don't know. Yeah, you could play it on your banjo too, maybe.
Oh, there we
go. All right, so I'm going to zoom in here for everyone so we can start with this bracket here first. And I'll list out our first team up of the night, Spider-Man Homecoming and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now, if you're wondering, how the hell did you decide these films? Why are they in that specific order? I literally went in chronological order, if you guys can see here on the left, and I just went down the line and I just listed them out in chronological order until I got to Endgame. So we will not be covering Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. We will not be covering anything beyond that. So like no Eternals, no nonsense like that. Just strictly Endgame, which is when, in my opinion, the MCU should have ended. So our first team up of the night, Spider-Man Homecoming versus Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Volume 2. So not the first one. McKenna, who do you have for this one?
Guardians.
Okay, easy bet. I am also going Guardians. Guardians of the Galaxy number 2 goes to the beats the first round, goes to the second round. We are off to a good start.
I feel like we already have people going, "What? What the heck?"
Oh, everyone's. It's gonna be very divisive to see who is like, no, that's a bad take, or that's like a god tier take or something.
This is where people will leave.
What a shame. Now, Steve, I think you're a little ironic on this one, because I don't know many people who the Guardians franchise or films are, in my opinion, fantastic. No, Josh, I'm sorry. Well, Eternals was so OP, Josh, that if I put it in this bracket, I knew it would have won. So I had to give all these other films a chance, because like Ben says, Eternals saved so many lives. It was so life-changing for so many people. All right, so let's move on to the next first round bracket. We've got Ant-Man and the Wasp versus Avengers Age of Ultron. Once again, I think this is a fairly easy pick, but what do you got, McKenna?
Avengers.
Okay, good choice, because I also have Avengers Age of Ultron. Some of these, as you guys can see, are going to be super easy, and some of them are going to be much more difficult, and that's when we will have to explain our differences.
Yeah, and you guys go at it in the chat too. I'm really curious to hear people's opinions as we go.
Yeah, for real. Steve says, what a shame comment is about leaving out all the wonderful movies that came after it. Yeah. Sorry. I know there were so many brilliant films that have come out since the end of Endgame, but we just couldn't fit them all on here, unfortunately. Yeah, but if you guys disagree or agree, let us know in the chat. We would love to hear. So we are to our next one, which is also a very, in my opinion, very easy pick. And this is just kind of eliminating the not so great films here. Ant-Man and Avengers Infinity War. McKenna, who you got?
I mean, what if I loved Ant-Man and you just had no idea?
That's fine. I would have still chosen Avengers Infinity War for you, because I know that's the right answer. No, I'm kidding. I will say, special commendation or however you want to say it. Ant-Man was a fun film, and Paul Rudd is perfect in the role.
Yeah.
So Ant-Man, though not a great movie, Paul Rudd is Ant-Man. There's no one else who could play that role, and I think Paul Rudd absolutely crushes it.
He's the reason I like the movie. So.
Oh yeah. If he wasn't in that film, it would have been atrocious. It would have been like a Captain Marvel type thing. Josh says, if y'all choose Ant-Man, I'm getting you shut down. I agree. So I was careful not to give in to my trolliness. And he is excellent, and I'm glad that you guys agree with our decision. All right, so this next one is going to trigger a lot of the wrong people, but trigger the right people. But most people will agree with me here. Though Black Panther is a multi-billion-dollar film, Cap Civil War was the introduction of Black Panther into the MCU, and the introduction of Spider-Man into the MCU. And I thought they did the source material fairly well. And it was just fun to see what Civil War would have looked like in a film. So I'm going Civil War.
Yeah, it's ballsy to have those paired together.
Yeah.
I know it's chronological, but wow. But yeah, Civil War for me as well.
Okay, cool. We will go with Civil War then. And I'm interested because Steve, you would have gone with Ant-Man over Infinity War? Come on, my dude. Ant-Man is fun, but Infinity War was that was cinema. I don't know. For me, this hurts my soul. Both great films, Black Panther and Civil War, but Black Panther seemed a little rushed. And a lot of people say, hey, give Black Panther at least get it through round one. But, because of, and I'm blanking on his name, rest in peace. But he is the true Black Panther. I mean, he is a great characterization of who Black Panther is. The film itself, though, did not do him justice. But I think he was better in Civil War than he was in Black Panther. So,
yeah, I'd agree with that too. The film seemed a little rough around the edges for me.
Yeah.
But I agree, he's perfect for the role.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. I remember a lot of comics that I was buying at the time were coming out with, like on the back page, it was just an entire page of a memoriam to him. It was really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and Josh says McKenna is right. It is ballsy. So he agrees with you for sure. But he also agrees with our Civil War. So, okay. We got through that unscathed. This one, I know exactly what I'm going to pick, and I have no problem with it. This one is going to be tough. And this is the only one that I was like, oh man, I tried to switch it around. I tried to make different movies at different places, but I couldn't figure out a way to like effectively get these apart from each other.
Yeah.
So this one is Guardians of the Galaxy, the first film, versus Avengers Endgame, the last film of the MCU cinematic universe. Chat, if you guys are still participating, I want to see what you have to say. McKenna, I'm going to defer to you to this one because I don't think people are going to like my answer.
Well, you're not going to like my answer, I don't think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay, so one of the advantages that I have of being pretty new to really diving into all of this, like coming in, as I always say, as like a hiker and watching the films, but not really being involved, is I don't have as much of an investment as most of you guys have. So I kind of have this third party, more detached perspective. I don't even have like loyalty to Marvel versus other production companies like a lot of people do. Having said that, I did not like Endgame. Did not like the movie. So Guardians is my pick.
Okay. Thank you, because I'm picking Guardians as well.
Okay, please don't kill it.
No. I am so thankful that you said that, because now I won't get all the flack for this.
No. Hey, I have hey, everyone drink. I have a free pass here because remember, I'm the noob and I am riding that wave as long as I can.
Even for a normie or a noob, whatever you want to call it, even for, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but for a longtime fan, I still choose Guardians because, as Josh says, as a standalone film, Guardians holds up so much more than Endgame. Like, Guardians has a beginning, middle, and end. It has fantastic character development. It is so fucking fun. I've never had so much fun in a film than Guardians. It's raunchy, it's funny, but it's serious when it needs to be. It's got action, it's got intrigue, it's got adventure. Like, it has everything that you need in a film, and it takes itself seriously to a point to where when it makes a joke, it's not making fun of itself, it's making fun of the universe. Like, it's just I don't know, it's really, really well written. And so
every character is endearing as well. They have fantastic character development in every Guardians film for every character, in my opinion.
That's such a great point. And thank you for mentioning that, because each character, though they are so different, all have something that endears them to each other and to the fans. Like Peter Quill has lost his mom. Gamora has lost her dad, and her dad is also like this evil conqueror. Rocket Raccoon has lost his humanity because he's an experiment.
I love her.
Oh, you get Rocket's amazing. Drax has lost his wife. Everyone has lost something, and yet they all find each other in this kind of misfit ragtag team of people.
Yeah.
Josh says there's so much payoff and fan service in Endgame, but the message at the theme of Guardian just lasts. That there's humor, so good. Or then there's the humor. Yes, Josh, 100%. Endgame is a bunch of, I guess you could say, member berries, where it's going, remember this character, or like, remember when we said this thing. But you also get fat Thor in Endgame.
Yeah.
And that's
what killed it for me.
Exactly. It's so pathetic. So, and you get like weak, downgraded Hulk, pathetic Thor. You get the MCU, like, come on, girls, like when they all like round up together. You get, it's just this, it was the very start of this whole new modern age of heroes. And it was fan service, but to the extent to where you just like, as a film, like Josh said, it wasn't a standalone, good, but film. But in my opinion, it's got great balance. Zach, and I'm assuming you're talking about Guardians, but I'm not sure. Ben says, I think if you take away everything that led up to Endgame, it doesn't stand on its own. Guardians does. There it is. All right. Then we are with Guardians all the way. I'm glad.
I'm surprised.
Right?
Unless, guys, at this point, we've just lost all the Endgame voters. And they're just like,
No, I think we got some true fans in the chat right now, and I appreciate it. Josh says you've never seen High Top Films video about Guardians of the Galaxy, then you need to. It'll change the way you look at the film. Ooh. Is that can I go check that out on YouTube, brother? Because that sounds good. I will go watch that right after this. All right. So our next bracket is going to be Captain America Winter Soldier and Thor Ragnarok. Now, this one, McKenna, I think you and I are going, this might be our first disagreement, strictly because you have a crush on one of these characters. And I implore you to rate them film off of the film, not the character you would prefer to date, if that makes sense.
Do you know what? I already made a pact with myself earlier today that if this is the route we were going with the live stream, I would put my crush on Thor's side as best as a woman can and vote unbiased. And believe it or not, I think I can do that. It's Thor all the way.
Oh, so you still
No. I actually would vote Winter Soldier.
Okay. All right. We are getting a pattern then, which is good, because I would also go Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think Josh, he says Ragnarok isn't even my top 10. I don't blame you.
Nope.
It's so difficult because it looks great. The CGI and the colors and everything is like a lot of fun, and it is a psychedelic experience. But the script is just so bad. Every single 10 seconds, it's a jokey here, it's a jokey there, and it's a Guardians of the Galaxy film. And look how much we can deconstruct Thor before he turns into another wimp. So I'm going Winter Soldier. It is the best. If we're talking best action film, I think Winter Soldier hands down beats every single one of these on action. Hand-to-hand combat is like the name of the game in that film. So it was
so good.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Winter Soldier was also where we got Cap saying like on your left as he's running by, right? I think.
From what I remember, I guess the wrong person though.
It was either that one or Civil War, I forget. But and we have Ash in the chat as well. Welcome, Ash. She says Cap Winter Soldier is my favorite Marvel movie. Ash, I do not disagree with you. I don't know if I could say it's my favorite, but it is definitely one of the best out there. So good. I'm glad that the chat is with us so far. Now we're on to our second round picks here, folks, and no fights have broken out yet. Everyone has been very cordial. I appreciate it. Thank you. And McKenna, I do want to reiterate, I'm very thankful that you have put your crush to the side. I know how difficult that is,
It's hard, I'm telling you.
especially with it being Valentine's Day coming up and everything.
I know.
So it means a lot that you would, because you and I could have disagreed on that film, and it would have been interesting. But
trust me, I was ready. I was ready to die on that hill. But I've only met one Thor lookalike in my life, so I figure my chances are pretty low. So I can put it aside.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've only met one Gamora lookalike, and it's Gamora. So I can't say I see too many women with green skin a lot around, unfortunately. But yeah, Zach, the calm before the storm. It really is. We are slowly, as it slowly starts to fade into this area here.
Getting more dangerous.
Yeah. Can you guys see my cursor, by the way? I hope you can. 'Cause if not, I'm just kind of pointing into the void, and you guys are like, where is he talking about?
Yeah, so you can see it when you scroll over the boxes, and then it disappears for me.
Okay. All right. Well, this one, though Guardians of the Galaxy 2 won the first round, it is now going up against Blade, 1998 Wesley Snipes' Blade 1, the film that started it all. Oh, real quick, Josh says, McKenna, keep your Thor crush for Infinity War. Josh, that will be the only what do you call it?
Exception?
Exception. Thank you, McKenna.
Yep.
That will be my only exception for you, is if you save it for Infinity War, because that really is where he does shine in that film.
Noted. Oh yeah, I noticed.
Oh yeah. I think all of us noticed. I couldn't effectively stand up after the film because something was precluding me from doing so.
Oh my God. All right, move on.
Move on. We're moving on. Speaking of not being able to stand up in the movie theater, I gotta give it to Blade on this one. I don't know if you ever saw Blade though, McKenna.
So I'm gonna have to defer to the chat. I've not seen Blade.
All right, chat. This is where you guys come in clutch. Wayne says, "Gotta be tough, McKenna. That'd be like me trying to ignore Kate Beckinsale when rating the Underworld movies." I see what you're saying, Wayne. However, I can still love Kate Beckinsale and still understand that anything after the first Underworld movie is kind of trash. But that's just me. All right, McKenna, I don't know if I've persuaded the fans enough or the chat enough, or if they are if they're doing this of their own volition, but looks like we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 calling it for Blade.
Yeah.
So I think that's a unanimous vote. I don't see any Guardians in our chat.
Wow.
So we're gonna move on with Blade. If you really want true representation, like Wesley Snipes does an incredible Blade that is, and it's I think right now the only MCU film that's rated R, if we want to call it MCU. But yeah, man. Oh, Brightest Day, what's going on, brother? He says, "What up?" Yeah, great to see you, dude. If you are just joining us, we are down to the second round of MCU films, and we are going to see who beats out who for the number one pick in our Super Bowl Sunday, mashup between MCU movies, and we see which one is going to make it to earn the title of the best MCU film. So Brightest Day also agrees, quintessential Blade. Well, I'm glad that we have all agreed. And yeah, McKenna, I think that might be your next film to watch for sure. Okay, so this one's funny because these are two films that people have unanimously not enjoyed. Now, this one I will give you the exception to Have Your Crush, McKenna, if you need to, because both are bad movies,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But Iron Man 3, for me, I fall asleep every single time. Iron Man always looks like a little bitch, and his enemy is a fake actor in a cave somewhere and a hot-headed blonde dude. That's
Yep.
that is like the worst MCU film I can think of. Josh says we lost Black Panther for this. Yeah, I'm sorry, Josh. It wasn't I didn't put the movies here. This was the website. Ugh, I know. It's so upsetting. I understand. But Brightest Day says Iron Man 3. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my
we have a
answer
lot of
might surprise you, but I agree
Okay.
with the chat because I love Thor so much, and I feel like his films did such a disservice to Thor
Oh.
that I vote Iron Man.
All right. Well, that is surprising. I would have thought that even by you just watching the film would have
Just seeing
because
him
it's
on screen.
just seeing him on screen would give you the everything you needed, to
Yeah, love
to
the man,
give
but not the movie.
sure. Hey, I understand that's totally fair. Yeah. Well, Josh says Iron Man 3 as well. Josh, that's okay. I forgive you. I would still choose Thor, but chat is aggressively on your side, McKenna.
Yep.
So I'm the odd man out on this one. But now we go to for me, this is where I think we see another shining light. Not in the Avengers film, though. I think the original Thor film was so well constructed to introducing the character, giving him the hero's journey of losing his power, losing his hammer, and then finally regaining his strength. We're introduced to Loki for the first time. Thor, that first film, especially with it was like Iron Man, Cap, and Thor, all in that first few years, just it was so well done. McKenna, what do you think on this one?
Okay, now this one's really, really hard for me.
Ooh, okay.
Because the scene of Thor shirtless in the house, I mean, how am I supposed to vote against that?
That's what I'm saying. Bring your biases to these ones.
Really
Yeah.
hard. Having said that, I actually vote Avengers.
Oh, wow. Yeah. What is happening?
So the Thor thing is this.
No, Ash, no. What is happening? Guys.
We can see who their favorite is, by the way. Dun, dun, dun.
Say again.
We can see who their favorite is.
No, but I thought that you guys were gonna vote Thor too. Like this was for me. Like, hey, Avengers: Age of Ultron is fine, but like I think Thor. There we go. My boys are coming in clutch.
I know.
I think. Oh no! Wait, Age of Ultron is easily the victor for me. Oh my god!
Okay, good.
Josh, you subverted my expectations. I read your first part. I didn't read your second part. Brightest Day says Thor. A Trouble Green says, "Are you? Oh, so you're in? Are you fine? Are you here for Thor or Avengers: Age of Ultron?" And Trouble Green, if you need to lurk, don't even worry about it. It's totally fine. But Steve says I'm gonna have to go with Thor. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna have to count these up, chat. Zach says Thor. I'm kind of here. Gary and Az are live. I'm listening to both. Oh shit! I did not know that Gary and Az were live. Trouble Green, are they talking the trailer right now? Let me know. Okay, so let's see. I think Age of Ultron wins out because we've got Ash, Josh, you saying Age of Ultron, and it's me, Brightest Day, and Steve. Oh, and Zach saying Thor. Okay. So that's 4-3, guys. If someone can come in clutch within the next minute to give me either Thor or Age of Ultron, I don't know.
Wish they had a little
We'll
voting
decide that.
system in the chat.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I think moderators might be able to do what do you call it? Like a poll, but I'm not sure how to do that. A Trouble Green, I will have to watch the replay. And by the way, if you need to go, like, go watch Gary and Az. You don't need to hang out, because that trailer is honestly, it's going to be very important to what happens next. So yeah, A Trouble Green, if you need to go, just let me know. All right, we got Ben in here saying Thor.
Yeah, but then we have Wayne.
And Wayne says Age of Ultron. Josh is about to make an account to go vote on one of our other ones. Okay, guys, I hate to say this, but
oh crap, there's another.
brightest day. Brightest day coming in clutch with that second account, boys. We got Thor coming through for the win. No cheating, no extra votes or anything. That's pure good old democracy right there. Oh, well, sorry, boys. That was a tough one. I did not think I didn't think that was gonna be so tough. Okay. We go then to this one's easy. Avengers Infinity War, Iron Man 2. Do I even have to say anything? Avengers Infinity War for the win. Do you agree or disagree, McKenna?
I do agree. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. We're just gonna skip right by that one because that's not even a contest. I'm sorry. Josh, what do you mean no? What do you mean no? No to what?
I'm loving Josh.
Yeah, Josh is great. If you guys haven't already, go watch myself and Josh this past Saturday on Thinking Critical's show. The Comic Aficionados were there on Saturday mornings, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Josh is one of the comic aficionados, an expert at Batman and all things DC. So he says, "Do I even have to say anything?" No, I do not. Okay, so yeah, Brightest Day. That was your mail-in ballot. God, I see what you did there.
Ash thinks it's rigged, and I agree.
Ash, considering the fact that McKenna started considering that she started a voting thing on her Instagram about a specific clothing article that I wear for the military, she rigged that one, so I can rig my MCU
points.
that was. See, when it supports their narrative, they can say whatever they want. No, I'm kidding.
Absolutely. In this case, I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
If it means me winning, then I have zero complaints about how it's done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whatever you can get ahead in life in,
Right. That's how that works, right?
Ash says, "I don't believe it." Well, believe it, Ash. I know our sweet, innocent little McKenna. You would never think that she would send in a couple mail-in ballots for.
You know what? I didn't rig it. I just threatened a couple of people and done deal.
Definitely not at all what Russia has done.
Yeah, Russia, perfect.
Yeah. So this was a interesting one because we have Cap Civil War from the previous round coming in to, in my opinion, beat out The Incredible Hulk, which was never a great film to begin with, but for some reason they decided to include it. So by the rules, I had to include it here. Is there even a question on this one, McKenna, either?
So I love Hulk, but same thing. I think the movie just did a disservice. So Civil War.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. 2 original films, 2 first films of their kind, because Guardians of the Galaxy was the first film that introduced those characters. Cap was technically the first Avenger and the first film that we saw of Captain America. but that gave us his origin story, his backstory, all that stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy, the funny, fantastic adventure, romance, comedy, action, space travel, or the coming of age story, the hero, the what do you want to call it? The honorable, noble, and grand story of the first Avenger and the leader of the Avengers. What are we thinking, McKenna?
So you know what's funny? For me, this is flipped. I don't love Captain America, but I loved that movie. I loved everything about that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just sucks when I have Thor that I'm infatuated with, apparently, and his movies suck. But over here, yeah. So having said that, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Okay. You kind of subverted my expectations on that one again.
Keep on your toes.
Yeah, right. So you did enjoy the Captain America film, though, right?
Yes, but if you compare these two films, Guardians of the Galaxy all the way. But I did love the Captain America film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking at chat, by the way, Flaccid, hail, brother. Thank you for being here. I know Gary and Az are streaming tonight, boys, and ladies or boys and gals. So I do appreciate you guys being here because we've got some huge news with Lord of the Rings. McKenna and I were unaware that they were dropping the trailer tonight. So we decided to do this anyway and just run with it. So I do appreciate you guys for being here. And later, what we might do is actually watch the trailer live here and get our first reactions. So stick around and maybe we might watch that. As far as our chat here for this decision, we've got Josh going Guardians. We've got Ash going Guardians. Zach, I know it's too difficult, dude. Steve, he's going with Cap. Flaccid is going Guardians. Brightest Day going Guardians. Josh says, as much as I love the nod that Captain America plays to the history of comics, Guardians is just an excellent film, plus Cap's third act is rough. You know what? Even no matter what I say at this point, I think we all are going to have to go with Guardians. And which is tough because solely based off of the film, Guardians wins every single time. Mm-hmm. If we're going character, though, I would actually choose Cap because I like the character of Captain America more.
Oh, do you?
I do, yeah. I really, really enjoy him and what he's done for comic books and just how much of a role he's played. Like Josh said, as far as like in the history of comic books, Cap has been at the forefront. But when we're talking films, it's got to be Guardians. We got to go with Guardians.
Did you like Chris Evans' portrayal of him?
Josh, I agree. True hero. I do. And what's interesting is that it speaks to Chris Evans as an actor because as a person, I don't think a lot of people are too fond of him. But for his portrayal of Cap, I do enjoy it, which, like I said, speaks to his acting chops because it just proves doesn't matter who he is as a person, he fucking turns on that acting ability and becomes Cap, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of funny that he can act his way through his own personality. But so I don't really like Captain America in comics, but ironically, I love his movies. Like, I love him in the MCU, and I do like Chris Evans' portrayal of him, but I hate the actor. So it's just kind of a weird, multifaceted dynamic.
Right? You kind of have to balance, like, you have to make like a pros and cons list, you know, like you just did. You kind of broke it down like, okay, love the character or don't like the character, but really enjoy the movie. Don't like the person, but love the portrayal. You know, like you have to kind of balance it out. And ultimately, with all that being said, Guardians wins.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I think we're all in agreement there. This one, though, so our next one, for those of you just listening and tuning in, the Avengers, the original Joss Whedon Avengers versus Doctor Strange, Not Multiverse of Madness, just original Doctor Strange. Now, McKenna, you and I both saw the newest Spider-Man film with Doctor Strange in it, and that was not Doctor Strange that we saw in this film. So, with that being said, though, I love the Doctor Strange film. I think it's super underrated. One of the more underrated films. But there is nothing, in my opinion, better. The only thing that wins above the original Avengers film is maybe Captain America Winter Soldier. So I have to go with Avengers on this one.
Okay, wow. So this one's actually kind of tough for me because I love Doctor Strange, everything about him. You know how you and I were talking about like personality stuff, how I'm obsessed with personality studies.
Yeah.
So he's an INTJ, I'm an INTJ, so I understand everything about him. That movie I loved. I don't like his portrayal. Like the continuity of his character arcs just dies over the course of the movies for me. Having said that, I think like you said, you just can't beat the first Avengers movie. Like just watching all the pieces fall into place beautifully. Now the movies after that, I don't know so much, but I think I'm gonna have to vote Avengers for this one.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that he was also an INTJ.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that you resonate with him then, and why that character would be have a special place in your heart for that. So,
and that's why in the Spider-Man movie, I just was like, he's not an INTJ any longer. Like he's not using his head at all.
Not at all. Yeah, he was an emotional, dumbed down. All his actions were based off of like just his own hubris. Like it was not of his own. You know, he wasn't making logical decisions to say logic trumps all. You know, like reason trumps all.
Right.
But and sure enough, chat is mainly in agreement. We've got a ton of Avengers.
Yeah.
We do have Flaccid saying that he would choose Doctor Strange. And I agree that Avengers has some cringe quips at times. The script is very well written, but it is a Joss Whedon script. So the only reason why I think it ages poorly, though, Flaccid, is because every film afterwards tried to copy that same format with like the funny one-liners or the Guardians of the Galaxy style script of, you know, cutting in a serious scene with a humorous line. And so it's unfortunate that that's how films have become now without taking themselves seriously. But with that, and yeah, Josh is not aging well at all either because of some of his recent comments that have come out to light. But either way, regardless of all that being said, we are going to go with Avengers. Now I'm going to defer to you on this one, McKenna, because the Iron Man is, to this day, from what I know and from what I hear, Iron Man seems to be one of the most beloved films of the MCU, mainly because I think a lot of people thought of it as the beginning of the MCU, like the spark that started, and because of Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Iron Man.
Yeah.
So, like I said, with that being said, Winter Soldier, one of the top action films in the MCU, or Iron Man, what would you go with?
This one's probably the hardest one for me yet because I love every fight scene in the Winter Soldier. But also Iron Man happens to be one of my favorite MCU films. So, crap. I think I'm gonna go with Iron Man.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Is that your final, like, locked in answer?
Oh, I didn't know I had an option, but yeah, it's my locked in answer.
Okay, that is locked in, everyone.
Yeah.
I am gonna go Winter Soldier. This is tough, and I do agree with you. This is a really tough one. And I'm not going Winter Soldier just because of Cap. I'm not going Winter Soldier just because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people in chat saying Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
I think it is just that great of a movie. Both are like, I mean, we're talking minuscule little like
Yep.
why it's better. So that's why I have to give it to Winter Soldier. Steve is going for Iron Man, and I don't disagree with you, man. Like I said, if it were any other movie, I would have to go Winter Soldier, or I would have to go Iron Man. But because it's going up against Winter Soldier, there's just, I don't know. And like Bucky's costume in Winter Soldier and Bucky's performance as Winter Soldier,
So good.
so damn good.
And see,
Josh is
Bucky's
also
a
going.
favorite character for me.
He's a favorite character, you said?
Yeah, no, not in the series that came out, but in all the movies, I love Bucky.
You see, I'm seeing a reoccurring thing with you, McKenna. Buff men with long hair seems to be a trait that you
It's
have.
a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. Like the slight bad boy vibe or villain
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Misunderstood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of a badass, misunderstood. Yep. Okay. I
A little rough
understand.
on the edges.
Okay. Someone who's been synthetically brainwashed by Russians and is technically kind of a villain. All right, you're going real bad boy on us with that one.
I mean, lots of conversation starters,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh says Winter Soldier. I think it's strictly because of Iron Man's third act. That it's interesting that you mentioned the third act again, Josh, because we've now seen Iron Man and Cap's first films lose it in the third act. Whereas like that first Thor film, I think it crushed it in the third act because Thor regains his power and fights the Destroyer. So I don't know. Thor, I think, had a good final conclusion, but I agree. Whenever I think of Captain America and Iron Man in those two films, I always replay the first 2/3 of the film and I kind of forget the rest. Ash loves Bucky. Josh loves Bucky. McKenna is a Bucky simp. Confirmed. Brightest Days says.
Yeah, no disagreement.
Yeah, Ash agrees with you. And Devin, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much for being here and welcome. If you are, for those of you who are just joining us, like Devin, we are having a countdown to our #1 favorite MCU film, Super Bowl style. We're eliminating everyone else. And we are we are separating the wheat from the chaff, and we are going to see who wins out. So we are on to our third round, the playoffs, if you will, and then we're going to go to the semifinals and the finals.
And you know what's sad about this, Max? I think I'm accidentally cutting out all of these, like you were saying, all the guys that I love in the MCU. I'm slowly weeding them out. I don't know why I'm fighting against myself here.
Because the films that have your favorite characters, unfortunately, don't portray them very well.
Yeah, they sucked.
We did get rid of Endgame, though, I think, which is Fat Thor. So
Yeah.
we did say no to that one. So
that one I was ready to vote down immediately.
Yeah. So I understand your frustration and your hesitancy, but I think you're doing well because we're talking about portrayals. We want the best portrayal of these characters. I think that's what's important. Josh has got the ultimate comment here. McKenna, I know you haven't seen Blade, but there's no contest here. So I'm going to respectfully chat, if you will. Will you defer to me on this one? Is that okay? McKenna, would you give me your blessing to decide for us?
I mean, only because I didn't like one of the only film I've seen out of this list, so sure.
Blade for the win. Let's go. Wesley Snipes. Let's all not pay our taxes. Go Wesley Snipes. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if you knew, but Wesley Snipes got in trouble for not paying his taxes. And
I actually didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Motion seconded and passed. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Josh says, McKenna, just hold on to your love of Thor and Strange for Infinity War. Both characters were at their peak there. Ooh.
You know
Josh,
what's funny about that, though?
Go ahead.
I don't have a thing for Doctor Strange. I just relate to him a lot. But his hair's not long enough for me, so
Oh
He
my
not.
god. He's not enough of a bad boy, Josh. Come on.
No, and
You know,
he had too much of an ego, so that was a real
he still has a bit of an even when he gained the mantle, he became a bit humble, but he still has a little bit, when you're the master of the mystic arts, granted, I think you have, you got some bragging rights there. So
But
you
an
can be
ego kills sex appeal like nothing else for me. So
fair. And I would say, as a man, there's nothing more. There's nothing more that turns me personally off to a woman than if she knows that she's hot and parades that, I guess. That kind of ego is very unappealing.
yeah,
So I think that would be the relatability that I could try and relate to what you're saying, McKenna, right?
yep.
It's like the guy who thinks that he's like hot shit or whatever.
It's really funny to watch. It's kind of gross, but it's very entertaining.
It is very gross. I think is a perfect word for male ego. It's gross, but it's very funny to watch. And yeah, bright as day, taxation is theft. Amen. Josh says, yes, those egos are the absolute worst. I don't know if I don't know what it is. I think it's just I think it's a lot to do with the fact that you feel like you can't get close to that person or you can't relate to that person because they feel like they're better than you. Is that what it is? What do you think, as someone who knows personalities very well, McKenna, what do you think it is that ego turns a lot of people off?
I think usually ego is used to cover up something else. So either the person's actually very insecure and they're hiding it behind ego. I mean, to me, at least in my experience, that's been the case. Usually there's some underlying insecurity that they kind of have to buck up to hide it.
Right. That's a good observation. And I think one that speaks to someone, who has some baggage that you don't necessarily see until it's all over the floor. And you're like, oh my God. But yeah, for a lot of people, ego can be hidden as confidence. Someone who might not be akin or someone who might not be aware of someone else's ego can say, oh, well, he just seems very confident, but that ain't it.
Usually someone too who has a huge ego, they are not very generous. They're not very caring. True. They don't think about other people. So as a woman, that's a huge turnoff as well.
Well, yeah, they're not giving, they're not loving, they don't sacrifice for others. They tend to, and if they do, it's for their own personal gain.
There's a little string attached.
Yeah, it's that manipulation where they're like, hey, I'm going to do this thing for you because I know I'm going to get a compliment back.
Yeah.
Because I'm the best. Very, very manipulative. I've seen that before. And it's very, if you see that, for anyone in chat, anyone watching this video, if you see that, know that, those are red flags. Those are red flags. Speaking of red flags, you know what? I don't have a good transition for this one. I'm just going to get right into it.
I want to see where you're going.
You were like, what red flag do we have here? We do have your crush, though, McKenna, as our first seed, as our first spot, and Avengers Infinity War for our second spot. Now, Josh, this is where you're coming in clutch, my man, because Avengers Infinity War has the best portrayal of some of our favorite characters, whereas Thor kind of has a rough, bumpy start. You don't get to see Thor in his armor for long. He's mainly kind of walking around powerless for like 80% of the film. So
yeah. Okay, so this is another one where I just hated Thor's movies so much that I can't vote Thor. I didn't actually love Infinity War, really by any stretch of the word, but I can't vote Thor on this one.
All right, well then it's an easy pick because I would choose Infinity War for me is top, maybe top 3 for me. So no matter what was here, whether it was Thor or Guardians, like I don't know, Infinity War definitely takes a high spot for me.
You're giving too many of
So
your cards away too early.
too many of my cards away.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not like poker, but
we still have to get through a good. We still have to get through these last ones: Civil War, Guardians, Avengers, and Winter Soldier. That's a tough list.
yep.
Like those 4 films, like we're about to get into some shit, and fights are about to break out in chat right now. So we'll see. But speaking of which, our next one coming in.
Hold on. I have to pause you really quick.
Oh no! What?
In the chat, Phoenix, Thor's eyebrows was the worst choice in that movie.
What do you mean Thor's eyebrows? What are you
I
talking
don't know.
about?
It cracks me up.
Did he paint on his eyebrows or something, or were they like? Did they make him blonde?
I mean, everything about Thor was a miss for me, but that just cracked me up.
That is pretty funny, Flaccid. Thank you for bringing that up. Now I have to go watch his eyebrows in the Thor film.
I know. I'm like, what am I missing? Was it a unibrow or something?
No, I think maybe they like plucked them too much to where they were just like perfect on fleek eyebrows.
Ah.
Josh, this is why we need you on the show to be our like tiebreaker, because when McKenna says such blasphemy as I didn't really love Infinity War, I made that same face internally. So
let me just reiterate that would you call me a normie?
Yes.
I can get away with murder, right?
True. We do have to give her some grace. But yeah, I mean you're immersed now. It looks like they bleached his eyebrows. They dyed them blonde. What? Wow. That is so odd. What an odd choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I was able to look past it, but now that's the only thing I'll be able to see, unfortunately. But to get on to our decision, because we are going to have to make some pretty difficult decisions here. Civil War or Guardians, and from what the chat is saying, we've got 1, 2, 3 Guardians. McKenna, what are you thinking on this one? Civil War or Guardians? Okay.
Yeah.
Guardians it is, because as much as I love Civil War, they made Cap out to be this kind of, I don't know, alt-right, Yahtzee, against the grain type of guy. And all my friends were like, Iron Man obviously is right. And I'm thinking, dude, I'm thinking Steve Rogers is right, but who does that make me? Does that make me a bad guy?
Ooh, that would be a great live stream topic.
Ooh, who's right? Captain America or Iron Man?
Who would you side with? Who would I side with?
Yeah.
Who would you guys side with? Be very interesting.
Unfortunately, we only have another hour of this stream. So I don't know if we'd be able to fit that in, but definitely for a future one, I think we could definitely work that in.
I'd have to rewatch it too and really like dive back in.
Yeah, right. And actually, because what we could do is I could send you a PDF of the comic, and we could read the comic and the film and see what the differences are, and see who's right and who's wrong. Yeah. I'm glad that you agree, man, because I do think Cap is right on that one. And I'm a prior military guy, and I still don't think, like there are a lot of sanctioned things that I don't think should be overseen. Like guys, it's like special ops guys, if they were overseen by government officials that were like watching in on them, that would not be good. Like we kind of need to let some of those special forces guys do their thing, especially if we're talking superheroes. If they are government sanctioned or government funded, they would be taken advantage of, and they would be okay. Now I'm going on a tangent. Never mind. We're going back to the films. Yeah. Flaccid also agrees. Team Cap all the way. Tony's half the shit was his fault, dude. Right? Thank you, Brightest Day. I agree, man. Zach says, I'm going to watch Geeks and Gamers play Mario Kart. Really enjoyed the stream. Hey, man, thank you so much for being here. Go have fun. Tell all of them I say hi over at Geeks and Gamers. They have a great stream tonight doing Mario Kart, so that sounds like a lot of fun.
So I'm an ankle biter in Mario Kart, by the way.
Oh, so you are an avid Mario Kart player then? Is this?
No. But growing up, I was. And so I would win 90% of the time just because I was that really, really annoying ankle biter that would piss off everyone.
You're throwing the shell at the last minute before people are crossing the finish line.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. Thankfully, this isn't a video game channel, because if it was, I'm sure we'd have some harsh words for you. But,
that'd be so much fun.
Yeah. Okay, so here we've got Avengers versus Winter Soldier. So speaking of Cap and his righteousness and his willingness to go against the grain, we've got the classic first Avengers team up in MCU history versus one of the greatest MCU films of action, intrigue, mystery, character development, everything wrapped into one that you could think of. What are we going with here on this one, McKenna? This one
I cannot put like the crush aside. This honestly, just because I'm in love with Bucky and everything about Winter Soldier, that I have to vote Winter Soldier.
Okay. This is where I pause for a second, because I'm like, oh God, because at least you had kind of a deciding factor to go, you know what, I have a crush on Bucky, I can give it to that one.
I have to cave eventually.
Yeah, but for me, I have a sentimental thing with the Avengers, because I remember watching it in college. And it was one of those films that I watched 5 times in the theaters because I was so enveloped in. I was seeing my superhero friends on screen for the first time together, finally fighting. And it was like, I don't know. It was like the same feeling I had with Lord of the Rings, where I was watching it and I was going, this is making history. And so, Josh, that's what I'm saying. I'm having a crisis here. Rida says Avengers is strongest when the team is building itself. For sure. The first portion of the team fighting each other is tough to get through, but once they start figuring out how to work together, God, it's so much fun. Ben says, is it Bucky over Thor for McKenna? Oh, good question. Ooh. McKenna, yeah, I think you have to give an answer for that one.
Okay, so we're going to get real personal here, I guess. The Thor thing, I cannot explain it whatsoever because I don't even have a thing for blondes. It's just been a crush of mine since I was young. And I've never had a situation where I meet a guy and literally cannot speak. But when I met the Thor lookalike, I could not speak. So that's inexplicable. I'll never understand it, but I also don't fight it. The Bucky thing, I fully understand that one. Like that he literally is one of my types. So having said that, realistically, a Bucky, someone similar to Bucky in real life, I would go for over Thor. But in the MCU universe, I would absolutely go for Thor.
Interesting.
No.
I think in the MCU universe you'd have to, because he, like you said, there aren't very many lookalikes like him in the real world, because it is such like a godlike form, you know, like the perfect blonde hair, the perfect beard stubble, the perfect figure, you know. And so in that context, I think you have to for sure choose Thor. But Bucky, I feel like you can. What's up?
I guess you can't really beat a god.
Right. You date a Russian spy who's been, or like, do you date a prior soldier turned Russian spy turned like Cap's sidekick, or do you date a god? It's pretty easy.
I mean, like that.
Ash would choose Sebastian Stan. Interesting.
Mm.
So, Flaccid, the suits for Cap's Winter Soldier, dude, if he had the Winter Soldier suit in the Avengers, whew, that would have been fire. But I'm looking at chat, and with McKenna's answer, I think Winter Soldier beats the Avengers. And here's the thing though. Oh, Brightest Day, whichever one takes less time to do his hair. The thing is that I personally would choose the Avengers because it's my heart, it's my soul, it's what I remember being joy filled. But the better movie is Winter Soldier. So, because of that sole fact, I can't put my bias into this. I can't say, oh, Avengers because I loved it or whatever. Technically and like physically and theoretically, like all the different concepts and facets of a film that make a film great, I think Winter Soldier is a better overall film than the Avengers. And that's why we are going to give it to Winter Soldier.
And you know let me add this too, just so I'm saying something more than, oh, he's hot on this live stream.
Oh my God.
That's pretty much been my only contribution so far. If you look at those two movies, Avengers is this bird's eye view that was beautiful. You know, like you said, all these pieces coming together the first time we saw them on film together. And it really was making history. It was phenomenal. I do wish there were pieces of the script that were written with more fluidity, but it was a beautiful movie. But if you look at Winter Soldier, it's this micro view of the interaction of characters, the dynamic of characters. And you see loyalty and, you know, trust and commitment and all of these different themes, you know, honor, et cetera, trauma, you know, pain. You see all these different things from a very micro perspective. And I have to be very honest, that's one of my favorite things about writing. That's one of my favorite things about movies. I love the micro details where it's almost reading between the lines. So that's another reason why I love Winter Soldier.
That's a brilliant way of putting it. And I'm very glad you mentioned that, because I think as we see, Josh would agree with that as well, because though Avengers is more fun on a grand scale, it's a big film. You have an entire army trying to take over the world, and the Avengers coming together to fend off, you know, these are Earth's mightiest heroes on the grand scale of things. It's big. It's a blockbuster. And Winter Soldier is on that micro level, those street level heroes, the ones that are on foot, that are on the ground, that are just hands and fists and characters. And, you know, as you said, McKenna, like there's a lot of development between these characters and their trust and their like interactions with each other, as opposed to this grand, like, the bad guys versus the good guys. It's like a lot of intrigue going on as well. So great point.
Even the fighting style, the hand-to-hand combat, that's a very intimate fighting style, and it requires the camera to be very close to the actors. And I've never seen an interview about this, but I'd be curious to hear if some of the reasoning behind that was because the film was such a micro perspective on all of this.
Especially with, and that would be a great interview, like you said, especially with the fact that Cap is trying to win his friend back. You know, he's trying to, as he's fighting Bucky, he doesn't want to, because he knows Bucky is still in there, even though Bucky's been brainwashed, he's been wiped of his memory. And you see that one scene where Bucky kind of remembers Cap, and he's like, Steve, or he says something like that, and he kind of remembers, and then he gets like zapped back into his like weird Russian mode. And there's so much heart to it, and you're thinking, what would I do in that situation if my best friend was in, you know, had become this terrible person? Would I still fight for him? Would I still try and defend him and protect him and win him over? It's a really great play on that dynamic. So, and
flip it as well. What if you were in Bucky's position, you know, and you were like robbed? Would you want, I mean, of course you would want someone to see you and fight for you. So it's a very interesting dynamic.
Right. Ben, yeah, I think that's a good point. With Avengers being the first time we see them and Endgame being the last time we see them, they play a very important role in the MCU to our hearts and to our soul and our mind. We love those films for what they are, but on a technical level, we just can't put them through the ringer, I guess. We can't analyze them to the point like, is this a good film or not? Because at the core, yes, it's very fun, it's very watchable, but as a film overall, you know what I mean? So Josh says the stunt coordinator fight choreographer for Winter Soldier is the same guy who did Daredevil. That's why. Oh my god, dude. That's what. Well, so for those of you who don't know, if you're watching this or in chat, and McKenna, I don't know if you've seen the Daredevil Netflix series.
No, I haven't. Mm-mm.
Daredevil, if Daredevil is on this list right here, I wouldn't even do this the chart. I would just say Daredevil wins. I would seriously argue that out of all these MCU films, that Daredevil would take it. The series would take every single one of these on and beat it 100%. So that's why I'm very impressed that, and why it makes sense why the stunt choreographer or stunt coordinator was also the same one for Winter Soldier and the same one for Daredevil. But
I have my homework, that's for sure.
Blade and Daredevil, those are the next two you need to watch for sure. Real quick, Brightest Day, if you are still here, my man, let me know if Gary and Az are still streaming, because I'm wondering if we're going to catch the tail end of their talk of the Lord of the Rings trailer. I'm very intrigued. We'd be ranking to see who takes second place to Daredevil. Yeah, for real, man. Like I seriously would think that it would take on any one of these titles and just crush it. Michael says, hail, Michael. Great to see you here, sir. Steve also agrees Daredevil is absolutely amazing. That show is probably the best show out there since Breaking Bad and Dexter. Okay, thanks, Brightest Day. Not a problem. I know they were probably crushing that preview or that trailer to bits, so I'm very excited to go watch. Let's see. Currently covering super chats. Okay, cool. All right, guys, we are in the semis right now. We are in the semifinals, and this first one, I would have never thought in the history of MCU films that we would have been putting Blade against Avengers Infinity War, the most two unlikely combos of a 1998 film and a 2018 film? I forget when Infinity War came out. Now, I know which one I'm going to choose. McKenna, you haven't seen Blade, though, so we have to leave this one up to chat, right?
But I don't like Infinity War, so...
But you can't vote against something if you haven't seen it, though.
I mean, yeah, all good points.
No, I mean, I guess you can definitely... I mean, your opinion matters here. Don't worry. You have a voice. You have a voice here.
And I can at least be opinionated and loud, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone drink.
And I have my water tonight. Unfortunately, I don't have any drinky drinks with me. Just my water.
I think I'm driving Josh mad, by the way. Sorry, Josh.
I know, because the thing that's funny, Josh, is like this whole time she's been saying how she doesn't like the portrayal of these characters that she loves, right? She's like, I don't like how he was portrayed in this or that. And then finally we get to the film where they are portrayed really, really well and they have strong characteristics. And she's like, I hated it. It's like, wait a second. No, but you can't. Yeah. Brightest Infinity War, Josh Infinity War, McKenna. Infinity War is a perfect movie. Wow, Flaccid. That's a bold statement. Ash says Infinity. Steve is going with Blade on this one.
Wow.
Steve, now you're not just doing a diversity hire here, are you? Or do you actually mean Blade? Because though, Blade was a good film, but not perfect. It was made in 1998, and some of those CGI effects are rough and have not aged well. So, all that being said, Avengers Infinity War, with Thor screaming, "Bring me Thanos," into the battlefield, is going on to the finals, my friends.
Do you
I
want me to
can't
say
bring.
something that's a really hot take?
Oh no! Do we do we let her? I mean, you have to say it now, but
I mean, no
it's
one has
you.
mad at us, right? So
True.
no one can come get me. Okay, so I did not like Thanos whatsoever. Nothing about him.
Well, yeah, of course not. Who liked Thanos?
No, some people
Like,
love Thanos.
well, I think they liked him as a villain because they
Right.
could like kind of empathize with him and go, yeah, well, I
Mhm.
guess I can see where he's coming from.
That's what I mean. As a villain, I thought he was a very weak and uninteresting villain. And I love
Y-
villains.
You should have seen him in the comics because
Hmm.
to put it very bluntly, the only reason why, and my comic nerds will know this out there, as if you guys are watching, um, I'm not being weird or perverted. This is in the comic books, and you guys can quote me on this. But Thanos really just wanted to get in Lady Death's pants. That's the only reason why he wanted to destroy half of the population. Really, he wanted to just get the Infinity Gauntlet and the Infinity Gems, which is, I think they were called the Infinity Gems in the comic instead of the Infinity Stones. But yeah, Lady Death was his mistress. That was who he wanted to be in a relationship with. And she would always turn him down and kept putting him in the friend zone. And so
Hmm.
she finally said, Thanos, if you kill half of the population and give them to me because I am death, you give them to me and I now have these people under my control. I will think about sleeping with you. And he's like,
Wow.
I will simp for you, my queen, my lady death. I will simp till the day that you are mine. Um, so let's go through some of these chats real quick. Brightest say Blade is great, but Infinity War is tops. I agree, Brightest. Blade was one of my fascinations as a child. I actually dressed up as Blade for like a Halloween event, and no, I did not do blackface, guys. So do not go try and find a picture of me in a Blade outfit because I did not. I was a white Blade. That was the first racial swap in history.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you dress up as different comic characters for every Halloween?
Almost, very close. I was
Okay.
Blade one year. I was Wolverine another. I
Yes.
was Maximus from Gladiator another year.
Mhm. Oh, nice.
So yeah, I've been all over the place.
Okay, so when are we going to see all these photos?
When I am on my deathbed and everyone finally wants to see Blade Max, then sure, I'll pull it out. But I think at the time it was still in like the 90s, so I had frosted tips and everything. It was great.
Oh man, you're just adding to my curiosity.
Yeah. Now, what about you? Were you doing any Halloween costumes that were?
I hated dressing up. The only photo evidence I have of me dressing up as a kid, I was in kindergarten, and all the little girls were dressed as princesses, and I wanted to dress like a lion. So I just literally had a lion suit and this huge mane, and I was the only kid not dressed like a princess. And that's about it.
Is that your INTJ peeking out?
Very possibly, yeah.
Okay. I love that you were a lion, though. It just, why follow the crowd when you can, when you can stick out?
In kindergarten.
Yeah, I know, right? No wonder you don't want to wear a mask anywhere.
Explains a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, right. So yeah, Josh says about Infinity War, with your crushes for Thor and Bucky, your INTJ connection with Doctor Strange, and a badass Wanda who is Scarlet Witch. So
Mhm.
many strong relationships in that film as well. What makes you? Where are we going wrong here? Where's the disconnect? Do you know?
So I think it's two things for me. One is I have such high expectations for the portrayal of the characters that I do love in these films that I just felt like nothing did them justice. Except for the few, like the handful of films that I really do love. But typically those are with characters that I don't love as much. And then, like I said, just the villain side of things I thought was so I don't know. I just thought that the writing could have been much more intricate when it came to what brought them together. And I could, like, I really have to prepare to dive into that. But I just think that for me, it just wasn't what I was hoping it would be, in a lot of different aspects.
And that's fair. Everyone has their own interpretation of what they believe their characters should be seen as. I mean, obviously, even I'm going to have a portrayal of how I expect these Lord of the Rings characters to be seen on film or on screen. Galadriel being one of them, who is not a warrior princess. She's nothing of the sort. She is a warrior in her own compassionate nature and graceful and kind nature. But she is vicious and fierce in her own way through her wisdom, through her words, not on the battlefield. And yet we're going to see a fucking Galadriel wielding a sword and being bad bitch, on the battlefield. And I'm so sick of it.
Yeah.
So that's just me though. Another stream for another day. Josh says, I mean, if you're not committing mass genocide to woo a lady, then you're doing it wrong or something like that. I mean, Josh, for Valentine's Day, what else am I supposed to do, bro? I mean, flowers is not enough. We got to think bigger, on a bigger scale.
Flowers is too predictable. Gotta spice it up sometimes.
Exactly. We want flowers on gravestones. That's what we want. No, I'm kidding. That got dark.
And this is not your Valentine's stream.
Yeah.
That's the real reason.
Yeah, guys, you're not getting a Valentine's stream from us because it would turn either way too raunchy or way too dark and weird. So
probably the latter.
Yeah, right. So that's why we're doing a Super Bowl stream when I'm on my deathbed. Boo! I know. We'll get the frosted tips one of these days, but what will happen is McKenna will have to bring pictures as well, and we will show them to both of us will show them to you, and that is the only way. So if you guys can get McKenna on board, I don't mind showing my goofy ass costumes when I was a kid.
Oh, I'm on board. Count me in.
That's on film. We're live right now, so that can't be taken back.
That is so worth it to me.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Then you better bring some good photos, because if you bring in something lame, then I'm not gonna.
Should have been in your conditions. Should have stated that earlier.
in my contract, yeah, the fine print. That's pretty funny. I like that combo. That would have been a fun costume to see. Josh says that's fair. It's a lot of characters for one film, so you really can't dig as deep. I've really just been pulling your leg this whole time, McKenna.
Yeah, and like I said, I really do like the micro dive into character development. So when you do have so many storylines going on at once, I do tend to take issue with movies at that point. True. So with Infinity War, when before the movie was released, I just remember thinking, okay, how are they going to balance honoring each character's development, the dynamics between the characters, the villain, et cetera, and I just, it was almost too much to accomplish that successfully for me.
Okay. I absolutely see where you're coming from. I do agree kind of with Bridge Builder a bit here, saying it's not Shakespeare or Tolkien, it is Marvel. But the only thing that I disagree with you in that regard, Bridge Builder, is that we have seen Marvel do a good job of character development. We have seen Marvel create stories that make you care about these characters and that do a very good job of what McKenna is explaining, why she likes some of these films and why she doesn't like some of them. So it's almost like, it's like if someone proves that they can do something and then they never do it again, you kind of question, okay, babe, you washed the dishes last night, but this week you didn't. Did you just forget how to do them, or are you just not purposefully not doing them?
It's another reason we're not doing Valentine's stream.
Yeah, right, exactly, because we'd get into more of that. So that would be, I guess, my thing is like Marvel. Yes, now I don't expect anything from them.
Yeah,
their writing is lazy. It's very. insignificant. It's very politically driven. But before, I think I can see where McKenna comes from, though, with what she's saying about these characters and the stories and stuff. So, Flaccid says Infinity War is so good because it is Thanos' quest. The heroes are the antagonists. Thanos is the protagonist. You can definitely look at through those eyes for sure. I tend not to, but for someone else, yeah, you can absolutely look at, like, Thanos thinks what he's doing is right. Thanos thinks what he's doing is just. So I can understand that for sure.
And you know what's interesting about that too? I really do think like the portrayal of Thanos is probably one of the biggest reasons that I don't love a lot of these movies, just because I really, really did not like Thanos. He was far too predictable for me in the way that they portrayed him in the MCU. So it was like his motives from the very beginning were understood. They were on the table. He wore it on his sleeve, so there was no trying to figure it out. There was no piecing things together. And for me, it was just very predictable what he was going to do and say. And it wasn't, I love villains that are more complicated than that. And I think, in the comics, there's, obviously a very different portrayal of him. And I would have liked to see more of that than what we saw in the MCU.
Okay. That is so you're saying that essentially for your villains, you would like a little bit more mystery behind it. You kind of want to figure out what their end game is, what their goal is, rather than them just, here's my plot to kill the world. Here, this is what we're going with. And here's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Understandable. Sorry, I'm just logging on real quick to my stream elements because it looks like we have gotten a donation. So while I do that, though, I implore you, chat, to look at probably one of our hardest decisions yet so far with this next question, or with our next duel here between Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America Winter Soldier. Let's see. Flaccid says protagonist just means moving the plot forward. Antagonist is stopping it. He's not good just moving it forward. Okay. WandaVision is bomb, sir, but the MCU is making a lot of changes from their original plans to the pandemic and timing of the Fox merger, as well as them. Josh, WandaVision is bomb is a bold statement. But can you really say that, like, Cap or Falcon and Winter Soldier or whatever that show was, can you really say that was good? Or like Loki was not good. That was not a good show. But yeah, that's a conversation for another time. We'll have that one later, my brother. Because yeah, some of those Disney Plus shows, man, have been rough. But
yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on each of them.
Right.
We should do that sometime.
That would be a whole nother thing. And I think the question, though, would be which one comes in second to Daredevil, though. That would really be, once you watch Daredevil, McKenna, I think you would absolutely agree. So that's going to be the true test there. So real quick, before we get into the rest and this next decision, I have to give a huge shout out to Roman of the Empire, giving us $10 tonight. Roman, that is extremely generous. Thank you so guys, so much. He says, hey guys, know that I love you, but due to my scotch-filled state and entertainment of guests, I'm unable to be present tonight. Be awesome, no silkies. Wow.
I love Roman.
As a fellow military man, we have to stick together on our stance on silkies, my man.
No, you don't.
We have to, even though we're different branches, doesn't mean we can't come together. But but you know what, Roman, $10. I will say no silkies. Thank you so much for the donation, my man. And hey, have a great Super Bowl night. And if I don't talk to you, have a great time tomorrow for Valentine's Day with your wife. All the love to you and the family, my brother. And then we have Michael for another $10. Huge donation. Thank you so much, Michael. And he says, for the statue fund. Ooh, Michael, you have no idea what I just purchased the other day. It's not, it's pre-ordered, and it should be coming within the next few months. It might make me cry. When I open it up, it may make me cry due to the significance of this character in my life and how much of a role the character played in my childhood and in my adulthood. And I got him as a statue. We shall see him in a video, hopefully within the coming months. But thank you for the $10, my man. Both of you guys are excellent. And to both of you, I shall give you my sword. Once I find my sword, I'll give it to you right here.
By my life or death, I can protect you. I will. You have my sword.
Roman and Michael, you both have my sword. Thank you so much for the donations, guys. That is very, very generous. And I'll say the last clip that I just gave y'all for the donation might be a little bit of a hint as to my next statue fund. I won't say anything beyond that. Okay, let's go to the chat real quick. Michael says he's going with Guardians on this one. Ash says both great movies, but Winter Soldier. All right. Also, I feel like Guardians, they kept trying to add a lot of humor. Bride of Stay says Guardians. Steve says Guardians. Wayne says Guardians. Josh says that's the pandemic. We should have a discussion on that. Ooh, that would be a good discussion. Okay, let's absolutely do that, brother. Because I don't think that I couldn't. I don't know. I don't want to give Disney the excuse that it was the pandemic, because I do think it was just poor writing. But anyway, different conversation for another day. Ben says Winter Soldier. Josh goes with Winter Soldier. Wow. All right, McKenna, you may have to be because really it's up to us, and then we go to chat as like a third party, impartial party. But really, this is kind of on us to decide here.
This one is so hard for me. I love both these movies. I mean, ironically, I think I'll have to rewatch this. I think that I've seen my opinion on Winter Soldier kind of lapse back and forth depending upon what it's paired up against, for various reasons. This one's tough because I love Guardians of the Galaxy so much, but compared to Winter Soldier, crap, I don't know.
Do you want me to go? Would it be helpful if I went?
I think it'll sway my opinion, which I don't usually say. This is freaking me out.
Oh,
how about this? Okay. Who do we have left in the queue? Like, who's still standing? Can I ask that?
Say again.
Who's still standing? Like, who do we have left?
So if we go back to our final players here, the only one left is Avengers Infinity War at our top spot for our finals, our Super Bowl. And then whoever wins out in this one for the semis will go fight Infinity War for the final Super Bowl, trophy winning position. So whoever wins this one will go against Infinity War.
I think I'm going to go with Guardians.
Wow. Whoa. Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have given you the benefit of the doubt by telling you who they would have played next. Ben says Winter Soldier. Josh says Winter Soldier. Bridge Builder says Winter Soldier. Because here's the thing, McKenna, I have to go Winter Soldier as well. But because you and I are conflicting, we go to the chat as per the rule book, for the sanctioned rule book by the NCAA. So with that being said, going to chat, I need to count these up real quick because I think Guardians wins based off of what we have in chat. But let me see.
Oh, really?
Okay, so Winter Soldier 1, 2, 3. Oh no, guys, I don't see another Winter Soldier. The 19th Amendment was a mistake, Meg. Okay, so Flaccid says Winter Soldier, Bridge Builder Winter Soldier, Josh Winter Soldier, Ben Winter Soldier, and me Winter Soldier. So that's 5.
Yeah.
Anyone else have their last picks? Put them in now, because this is going to be the finals. Whoever wins this round goes to play Infinity War after this. Because we have McKenna with Guardians, we have Wayne with Guardians, Steve with Guardians, Brightest with Guardians. Oh, Ash was actually Winter Soldier, but Michael was Guardians as well. But it looks like Ash would make 6 for Winter Soldier. So correct me if I'm wrong, chat. If I'm doing the math incorrectly, let me know. But as of right now, I think I see 6 for Winter Soldier and 5 for Guardians, including what myself and McKenna have voted for here.
I don't know why I'm getting nervous about this.
This is a big.
I'm like, oh my god, who's gonna win?
Yeah, because I read so many Guardians, I thought that was going to win. So yeah. I'll do this one more time. Okay, myself 1, Flaccid 2, and this is for Winter Soldier. Bridge 3, Josh 4, Ben 5, and Ash 6. Now for Guardians, we've got Michael 1, Brightest 2, Steve 3, Wayne 4, and then you McKenna would make 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Guys, that was close. That was so close, but Winter Soldier wins.
Wow.
It goes farther than Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I will give a special shout out to Guardians, though, because if under 2020 election rules, Guardians wins. Okay. If McKenna had her way, she would have had some Russian bot come in here and put in another vote for Guardians.
I am the Russian bot, please.
Yeah, right. So with that being said, Guardians, the fact that it made it to the semifinals and almost to the finals, is literally one of the top best MCU films that has come out yet. The fact that it made it that far, when at the beginning, when it first came out in movie theaters, everyone was like, who are the Guardians? No one knew who the Guardians were, or the Guardians of the Galaxy. They thought it was a dumb concept. Everyone hated the fact that there was a little raccoon. No one appreciated it. And then it came out and people saw it and had the time of their life. So it really just goes to say how much that film went from everyone hated it to completely redeeming itself and subverting its expectations. So
the music that it resurrected as well, I will forever be grateful.
That soundtrack still is the best soundtrack in the MCU to this day.
So good.
It is, and Guardians 2, almost even that soundtrack was excellent as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But both were very, very fun and just really well done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are coming up to the last about the last 10 minutes of our stream, guys. For everyone who's been sticking around and hanging with us, I want to say thank you so much for being here as we enter the final round of our MCU 22 films that we've broken down and gotten to our last 2. And I'm so thankful that you guys have been here with us to help us get through all of these films, because that last one was tough. Super tough. But here we go. The final 2. Who will win? Avengers Infinity War or Captain America Winter Soldier? So we have the grand scale Infinity War. Thanos releasing his army upon the Avengers as they fail to stop him as he snaps half of the world out of existence. Or Captain America Winter Soldier, a friend fighting for a friend, and the honor and nobility that comes with Captain America on the ground level with his other friends, trying to save a family member, essentially. or what seems like a family member. So who do we got? I'm going with Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
And I know McKenna has to go with Winter Soldier, though.
Wouldn't it be shocking if I voted Infinity War? After
Do you
all
want
that,
to?
I think
Do
we
you
kind of
want to?
at this point, but no.
Just to troll?
Yeah, just to troll everyone.
Okay.
No. Winter Soldier for sure.
Okay. I kind of figured, and that's okay. That's why we have our wonderful chat here tonight.
Yeah.
So Steve goes, I choose not to vote. That's okay, Steve. That's totally fine. It's a tough decision, I know, but we've got 1 for Infinity War, 2 for Infinity War, 1 for Winter Soldier, 3 for Infinity War. So it looks like you and Ash, McKenna, are for your Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I gotta say, at this point in time, Infinity War is gonna win out. We've got Ben going Winter Soldier, though.
Yeah, it's a very early call. Come on, guys, you gotta vote.
Through. Yeah, I know, right?
Vote Winter Soldier.
So it's 7:51 right now. We'll go till 7:53, 7:52, somewhere around there.
Can I text any friends to vote really quick?
Oh my gosh! Can you get some more? Can you get some more Russian bots in here?
If you're watching, you know me. Please vote.
Wayne, you cannot choose Winter Soldier under protest, just to troll. But your vote, yes, your vote does count here, my friend. So your vote counts. Flaccid goes close the polls. Josh goes Infinity War. I've never left a Marvel movie feeling the way I did after that, bro. Right?
All right, I'm gonna watch it here.
Not just a Marvel movie, man, but like a movie in general. Like, it's very odd to leave a theater just going like, what did I just watch? Like, how are they? This is irreparable damage. How am I going to survive? It was a somber feeling, but a good one. It was weird. Very, very odd.
Daniel, if you're watching, you gotta vote now.
Who?
It's 7 o'clock. Daniel, I'm just gonna call out some friends really quick.
Oh my gosh. No, if you know what, I won't take that away from you. But I will say, if you guys do want Infinity War, now's the time. Your vote matters. Your vote counts. So
and you have like that nice voice that like calls people in. Like that's cheating.
I gotta do my ASMR voice. All right. So as of right now, if we close the polls right now, one for me, 2 for Flaccid, 3 for Michael, 4 for Bridge, and 5 for Josh. And it is McKenna 1 for Winter Soldier, Wayne 2, Ben 3, Ash 4. So you need one more to tie.
Come on, guys.
Oh my god. I was told to come to vote for Infinity War.
Who did that? I'm calling out friends right now.
My friend Knack. I haven't seen you in the chat before, but I will say thank you for being here, my friend. I don't know who you are, but it sounds like it's another vote for Infinity War. So.
Yeah, but the wrong vote, Knack.
I'll take it. Oh, whoa, wait. So you know Knack. I don't know who.
No, I don't know Knack. I just know you voted wrong.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Wouldn't that be funny if you tried to rig our voting system and your rigged person came in and voted for the wrong thing?
Actually, I could see my friends doing that, yeah.
Fair enough. Josh says, I just want to go on the record to say this is not me. Oh, thank you, Knack. I appreciate it, man.
That is suspicious.
Yeah, if you guys have been having fun this live stream, definitely go ahead and hit the like button. This is something that I think will be really fun for people to rewatch or to have, give their input or whatnot. So I can't thank you guys enough how much you've contributed to this and how much fun it's been. But it is 7:54, so we have Steve, I understand you're going for Winter Soldier. I appreciate it, brother. Wayne says, yeah, he goes, I know a few minutes early, but this has been hella fun. You both are awesome. Knack is a non-registered voter. So with that being said, if we take Knack out and we take Steve out, because Steve, it looks like your vote came in at 754. I wanted to try to close the polls around 52, 53. So if we take Knack and we take Steve out, I still think Infinity War does win. So with that being said,
even if you put them in, it would win.
Even if I put them in, it would still win?
Yep.
True.
Yep.
So, my friends, as we come to a close, Avengers Infinity War is the winning and the top MCU film of the year, or of the decade that we've had of these MCU films. Man, that was a wild ride.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. Yeah, no, right. We were, I'm surprised we didn't get into any physical arguments either. But
altercations.
The altercations. Yeah, I could have thrown my laptop over. But yeah, thank you guys so much for Wayne. Awesome guys. Ash says not my movie. Not my president, not my movie. Flaccid says, as it should be, my man. Michael says, good night. Michael, thank you again for the donation, my man. Thank you so much for coming out. Have a great night. Enjoy your Valentine's Day tomorrow. Steve says, didn't Infinity War make the most money in the box office? That's a great question. I'm not sure if it did or not. Max McKenna, tonight was honestly a blast. McKenna, you're great. It's so nice to meet you. Josh, we would love to have you on one of these days. I think it would be fun to have a comic conversation or something to have you on. So and then that way you guys can officially meet. So
yeah, that'd be a blast.
Yeah. So all that being said, we have come up with our final decision for our best of the night. We got about 3 more minutes before the stream ends, but what I want to show you guys, if you stick around, we're still deciding if we want to do another one this week or if we want to just wait till next week for our next stream, to get a lot of people in who weren't here because of the Super Bowl and because of the Lord of the Rings trailer. So if we want to get more people tomorrow or later this week, what I do have planned for us next time is going to be, let me remove this and I'll share my other screen, which is going to be what our next game for the next stream. And I'm being very redundant because I'm trying to give myself some time to pull up our next tab, essentially. But can everyone see that all right? So this is going to be our next game or our next stream that I think would be a lot of fun to play. In honor of Valentine's Day, we have a tier list of some of the best superheroes in Marvel and DC Universe and which one you would want to date. So on the tier list, we have waifu material, so absolute waifu material at the top. We have S rank, A, B, C, D, and then instead of F, we have actual dog shit person that you would want to date out of these superheroes. So if you guys want to join in that conversation, if you guys want to be there when we rank these superheroes and who we would want to date for Valentine's Day, we would love to see you guys here, and we'll announce when we're going to go live next, whether it's going to be later this week or next week. But I think that'll be another really fun one. Instead of bracketing, it'll just be a tier list. So,
so much of my type that you guys will be able to guess it.
Anyone who has long hair and a bad boy and is beefy is probably going to be someone who's going to be at your waifu material or hubby material, essentially. Okay. And Ben says, awesome stream tonight, guys. A lot of fun. Hope everyone has a great week. Thank you. You too, my man. Says, hell yeah, give us a bonus stream this week. Yeah, man, we would. I think we'd love to. We just got to figure out a good time so that we can get as many people in chat as we can, as many viewers as we can. because it was kind of conflicted with, like I said, the Super Bowl, Valentine's Day, and the Lord of the Rings trailer dropping. Big night for everyone. So we appreciate you guys being here and choosing us, because it really means a lot to us for everyone being here. Flaccid says, great stream because we win. We do win. Speaking of win, I don't even know who won the Super Bowl, but who cares? We won. That's what
I know.
it's
I'm Googling it under the table.
right. All right. Well, I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for being here. We will see you guys soon. And once again, our winner for tonight is Avengers Infinity War by popular demand. So not my popular demand, not necessarily hers.
I'll be protesting.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Have a great rest.